Puzzle with Emilia, that's me, and today's video is my 2000 subscriber special. Thank you so much, and in this video I'm gonna answer all the questions that you had. Anything you ever had in your mind. I thank you so much for all the questions. So today we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. Of course about the puzzles. There's also some great questions about the puzzle culture. Is there some competitiveness within YouTubers or content creators? How I feel about content creating in general. Speed puzzling, some personal questions as well. And my actually most asked question was, what sports did I used to do in the Finnish national team? And this is so funny because there were so many questions about that, but we're also gonna figure out that one today. However, the first question actually came to my previous haul video, but I thought I would answer that one just to get a kickstart. That's really not sure if it shows on the camera. I hope I'm showing in the camera. But was that, how many puzzles do I have in my collection and how do I store them? Well, I don't know the actual answer as a number. I need to count that. We're not gonna get into that today because that would take like a decade. However, how do I store my puzzles? Well, so this is pretty much how I store my puzzles nowadays, because as you can see, my shelves are pretty full. New puzzles keep coming. This is my fabulous desk. I'm a Christmas decoration still here. This is where I'm gonna, well, probably not gonna film there. There's some more over here. Let's see, maybe I'm showing to the camera, maybe I'm not. But yeah, this you have seen before also, but you can see it's piling up on the floor. Just random puzzle, like literally everywhere on my sports box. It's a lot. So yes, definitely, my storaging sucks, in lack of better words. But let's get into it. I have my other phone here to go through the questions, so I actually got them right. Also, this is not really like the main point of this video, but I'm gonna be doing a 2000 piece puzzle for the 2000 subscribers, and obviously I haven't done really this big puzzle for a while, so I'm quite excited about this, and also just to prove to you that I do also other than just the smaller puzzles. Very excited for this one. So this is from the Bluebird Puzzle, 2000 pieces. Hopefully it has a name, one second. Doors of USA. Okay, that doesn't really fit the theme today, but I really love this puzzle. I wanted to do this during the holidays, but you know what happened, so I actually didn't end up doing anything. Also, I really want to thank you all because somebody over there has nominated me as the Speed Puzzler of 2023 in the Jigsaw Puzzle Culture Awards. If you had not heard about this awards earlier, it's a completely new thing. It's hosted by Rosa from the Puzzle Podcast. I'll put the link where you can vote and see all the categories and more information in the description. So please go and vote for me or any other fit candidate. There's also other categories. So I'm in the Speed Puzzler category. There's also the Inspire, the Community Builder, the Achievement, Puzzle Brand, and Puzzle. So please go and take a deep look on the nominees, not candidates, nominees. Yes, that's the word. And yeah, just thank you for whoever nominated me. I'm so excited and so thankful for all the votes. But let's get into this. Let's hop into the first question. Let's see. Okay, puzzle people, here's the deal. You can see I'm very randomly already in the middle of this because I started filming, I started answering the questions, and I realized that I actually spent like 10 minutes answering every question, and we cannot do that because we have like dozens of questions here. So if I would have been smarter, I would have done this as a live session. Maybe I'll be smarter when I reach, let's say, for example, the 3000 subscribers. But I think this video is going to be more podcast-like, so you maybe actually want to put it as just listening in the background while you do something else. But to fix the issue that I'm very long-winded, even with this explanation right now, I'm gonna actually read the question and I'm gonna give myself only 1 minute to answer each question. So this won't be like literally as long as the puzzle is gonna take kind of video. Okay, let's go. Question: how did you decide to start content creation? Timer on. Okay, so I started content creation when I was a kid. I used to do this kind of like a magazine. You can see I was very young when I did this. I did the brand, you know, green and orange colors. There's all kind of like interviews and everything, recipes, gossip in this thing. I was also doing my own TV channel. You remember those like video editors 20 years ago? So I was like scripting my own TV channel. I filmed like a cooking shows and advertising. And yeah, so I kind of like had the love for content creation as a kid. Long story short, I think like 8 years ago I went to Middle East to volunteer, and then I came back Finland. I'm wondering what do I really want to do with my life, and oh my god, I have 10 seconds. So I turned back into the content creation, and then I've been creating kind of like my personal brand in Finland with social media. I've also been on TV and stuff like that, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't do that anymore. It wasn't my thing. I also had I'm over 1 minute. I also had a social media account for my dog and some other social media brands of my own. My dog was one of the most popular dog influencers in Finland. I don't do that anymore either. So then I started this puzzle stuff. But yeah, that's the background. I have to stop. It's already 1 minute and over 1 minute and a half. Sorry. Nice try. Okay, next question. Do you feel as a community with other puzzle YouTubers, or does it feel like competition? Reset. Doesn't feel like competition. I don't think there is specifically a puzzle community with the YouTubers for the reason that the YouTube as a platform is not really that much like a community. Maybe more with my, like, you know, with you guys. But I don't think with other YouTubers, because it's not, you cannot send messages here and stuff. I follow a lot of puzzle YouTubers on Instagram and stuff. So of course like community there, but then I think it's a bigger part of the community in general that we have with puzzle people on social media. So yeah, and did it feel more like competition? I don't think there is that much competition. There's not too many puzzle YouTubers. I don't watch other YouTubers like brand new videos. I watch their old videos mainly because I don't want to get influenced and then talk about the same stuff on my videos. So I kind of watch them like with a little delay. But yeah, okay, that was 1 minute. Stop, reset. Next question. You seem to drive from competing. That's awesome. Yep. How do you make sure to not burn yourself out from one topic, or is it something you just accept and move on? Yes, I'm a very competitive person. I'm very performance orientated. This is actually what I discussed. I mentioned Rosa from the Puzzle podcast. So I was actually a guest on that podcast earlier last year, and I said specifically that after I quit my career in sports, I actually had all the intention to avoid to have any specific hobby. So I just been trying all these so many years to do like just multiple things and not get really into anything specifically, because I do have the habit that I start doing something. It's a great example now with the puzzles. You can see I get into something and I give my 150% to it. And I'm like literally everywhere doing social media, doing content about it, doing this and that and competing and blah, 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 blah. So, and do I burn out myself on that? Sometimes yes, so I should be a little bit careful with it. My 1 minute is up again. Reset. Next question. Do you only like speed puzzling, or do you also do bigger piece count puzzles for fun? Now I'm doing this 2000 piece puzzle. I'm so excited for this. When I started doing puzzles, which is less than 2 years ago, a bit over a year ago, I actually only had 2000 piece puzzles, some 1500, and then I started getting a little bit like 1000 piece puzzles, and I only owned a couple of 500 piece puzzles. But the truth is that nowadays I do basically what I think you mean by speed puzzling in this question, in those 500 piece puzzles, rather than these big ones. So that is the truth. I enjoy both, but as said on the previous, related to the previous question, I'm a little bit competitive, so yeah, I do focus now more on the speed puzzling, so I can compete and win everybody. Yeah. Okay, 1 minute up, reset. On the more personal side, how do you like living in Finland? I think Finland, I've always said I think Finland is the best country in the world. I may have changed my opinion recently because the healthcare here sucks. Not just a little, but a lot. And we don't have like a private sector for special care or kind of like hospital things. So if the public sucks, then your life sucks. At least for me, since the episode from December. So I'm actually very traumatized and very like disappointed on the whole scenario. But other than that, I mean, we have nature. We've been voted not voted. I think it's basing on some criteria, the happiest country in the world. I agree with that. I always say people, because I know a lot of people abroad, I think for example US you pay tuition for studies, and here studies are free. So, and not only free, we're actually paid by the government to study. So yeah, that's it. But my 1 minute is up again. Reset, next question. Okay, what different language do you speak? So I speak, this is actually what many don't understand. I speak English in my daily life. I speak English at home, but I'm not a native English speaker. I speak English, I think in English, I dream in English. But however, I have never lived actually in the native English speaking country. So that kind of causes the issue that I have also developed a little bit like my own language. And you know, the environment around me doesn't correct me when I start using funny words, and then when I use them like, you know, multiple years, or saying something like grammatically incorrect, it's almost half impossible to fix it later on. For example, the fact that I say durability, even though I know that things are durable and not people, but there's no way getting over it. I also speak, my husband speaks Spanish and Hebrew. I also understand those languages. Also, I can write in Hebrew because, you know, and also Arabic. Arabic I don't understand written, I don't understand the alphabet. Also studied, oh my god, I'm so over this time again. I studied German for I think 10 years or so, but I don't really know that anymore. But I can understand a lot of languages. That's why you maybe see me that somebody sends me a message in Spanish or something, I can actually answer to it with their language back. But please don't come to talk to me in any other than Finnish or English, because I'll be confused. Yes. Okay, that's almost 2 minutes. Unbelievable. Such a pointless, not pointless question, but you know what I mean. I could have spent this time for something else. Reset. Do you ever consider moving somewhere else? Yes, I wish that we have this issue that my husband is in Finland with a permit. He's not the EU citizen, so I can move around, but he cannot. But I think I could live somewhere else in Europe. I actually really love the Valladolid. So yeah, why not Spain? Or some other country, I don't know. But I don't really have desire to travel. I'm not really a traveling type of, but yeah. Okay, that's only 30 seconds. Let's save it up from the other question. Reset. This was questions only from one person, but let's move on. Being at ease in front of the camera, did it come naturally to you or did you have to work at it? I think I can talk to all YouTubers by saying that nobody wants to watch them or listen to themselves speaking on the camera, watching themselves on the camera. So it's a little bit pain to kind of like edit your own videos and watch yourself talking. It's pretty terrible. But generally, I think naturally it comes to me talking on camera because I do like public speaking and, you know, kind of like those lectures type of things where I educate organizations, you know, like a bigger audience, and then you talk about something. So I don't really have issue with that. I'm also kind of smart in a way that you can ask me or throw me anything and I can talk about it forever. so I don't have also issue with that. I don't really script my videos. I mean, I have idea. I only script the ones that I give like tips because I want to make sure that I'm explaining them in a logical manner and not getting like long-winded again. But yeah, it's pretty natural to me. But you need to remember, I'm talking actually to camera, not people. There's nobody else in this house other than me and the dog, so it's a little bit different if I would be actually having a one-to-one conversation. So don't mix up how I'm in the camera to how I'm in the social environment. Okay, I need to really step up my game. I'm talking too long. Reset. How do you improve your speed puzzling? Well, obviously I have a lot of videos about this, so I just would honestly recommend to go see those, you know, subscribe my channel, because I cannot answer to this question very fast. But I think the key word is to actually practice mindfully, meaning that, you know, I've said this earlier, if you're a swimmer, you don't just swim to get better. If you're a piano player, you just don't play piano songs to get better. There's all actually like, you know, practices and what you need to do to isolate different skills to practice those. And I'm pretty good at that thing, like understanding how to practice and how we learn. So that's how I improve. Yeah. Reset. Go. Is there a puzzle culture in Finland? I'm pretty sure there is, but I don't think I'm part of it. This might sound a little bit surprising, but as said, I haven't done puzzles for a long time. I'm not very a social person either. So the truth is that I think there is like events and you know, people know each other for years. I'm not really part of that. I'm a little bit part of nowadays on the competition side of the puzzle community, but I don't know too many people. I don't really know if there's events. Facebook groups really don't destroy my video. So I think there is, but I'm the wrong person to ask about it. If you're from Finland and you're part of the puzzle community outside of social media, please comment below your thoughts to answer this question. How are you really feeling now? Are you fully recovered? Go. First of all, I appreciate all the wishes for me to get better. This is a tricky question. Yes, I'm kind of like fine now. However, they don't have any diagnosis, nor do they seem to care to find what was wrong. So I'm always afraid that it's gonna happen again. Then there is the issue that I do have this kind of like a chronic rare illness as well. That, for example, if you saw me on the last day of the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship last year in Spain, I was literally sleeping on the side of the dome because I was completely out of it. So I have like a chronic health issues that kind of cause the issue that every time I leave my house and I come back, I'm sick. So I don't want to get too much into it, but it's a little bit troublesome. And then when you add anything into it, it's just hard. But that's it. Do you have other hobbies? No, I absolutely have no life. I'm basically just doing puzzles, staying at home with my dog and my husband Daniel. And we used to do a lot of sports, but due to my health issues, haven't been able to do too much for a long time. And then I work. I own a growth marketing business, and I also like consult boards. I've almost like 12-year experience in different kind of boards and organizations and advisory boards and stuff like that. Yeah, I love my job. That's one thing for sure. It's hard to describe what I actually do for a living. Basically, growth marketing is my main thing, but I'm kinda, if I work with some company, I'm kinda in everything that they do. So yeah, I work and do puzzles. I don't have any hobbies. Reset. By the way, there are some questions that are kind of like same as something else, so then I'm not reading them out loud if I basically have already answered to them with some other question. Anyway, next question. Why did you decide to start speed puzzling? Go. So the thing is that I didn't know such thing existed. a year ago. Then I started this social media account. I think it was Vesna, the Puzzling Happiness. Saw one of my Amy Stewart puzzle, and I posted in my stories, and then she was like, "Oh, you should save this for the competition next week. I think you're already doing that, but I just wanted to let you know." And I'm like, "What? Competition? Who? What? Where?" And then I registered for the Worlds right away. I wasn't really good at then, but yeah, that's basically how I started. And I said I have a problem with getting too much in this stuff, so now I'm in this competing mess, and that's it. Yeah. What were your times promediate when you started speed puzzling? How much did you improve? Okay, I don't know what was that word in the middle, but I'm guessing from the context. So my times when I started doing puzzles or speed puzzling less than a year ago. So my average was way over 2 hours. No chance. I remember I was looking at the world, the 90 minutes max time limit, and I was like, there's like no chance a person can do a puzzle in that time, like no chance. Currently I'm doing puzzles, I would say average 1 hour, depends a lot in the puzzles, but I just want to highlight the 1 hour because it sometimes feel like I post a video where I do very well and then people are like, "Oh my god, you're so fast," but then it's like, no, but I still do, like, of course when there's a challenge I seem to be faster, but when I do just puzzles without nobody videotaping me or anything, I'm not that fast. I just have a couple lucky ones, and yeah, but I'm definitely getting better. I can do a lot of puzzles nowadays, way under an hour with no problemos. Do you like wooden puzzles? I've been actually thinking about doing a video about wooden puzzles, specifically kind of like either like tips for wooden puzzles or just analyzing, are they really worth the price? I do have wooden puzzles. I think they're different. I think they're very nice. They have this kind of special feeling to them. When you do them, they feel special. So short answer, yes. Which big count jigsaw puzzles are on your wish list? This is very awkward to say, but I cannot tell you one puzzle for this question. I don't have anything on my wish list that I could mention. I don't generally even actually have a wish list for puzzles. I do have like this kind of like saved list on Instagram when I see something cute, so I put it on this must buy list that I'm sharing with my husband, but I have quite many puzzles, so probably shouldn't be buying. And also related to the big count, like 2000 pieces is the max that fits in this table. So that's why I also don't buy bigger puzzles than that. I have that one that I bought last year randomly from Lidl, the 6,000 piece puzzle. I don't know where I'm gonna do that. But yeah, that one I would definitely want to do. And of course I'm dreaming about the biggest Disney puzzle. Isn't it like over 40,000 pieces or something? So yeah, that one. Do you have any plans to start a Finnish puzzle association? Okay, there is a Finnish puzzle association. People have been asking me that literally since last year, or even before the Worlds. But there has been a Finnish puzzle association. They just haven't had kickstarted the stuff, so I'm not part of it. And that's why there haven't been info. I feel very awkward with this question always because I know they're trying to get it like going, and there is gonna be Finnish nationals this year and everything. But yeah, I'm not starting anything, and it's already started, and I will put a link somewhere in the description to get more info. Don't ask me, okay? Don't ask me about it. Apart from the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship, do you have any plans to travel to other puzzle competitions? Yes. For example, I'm coming to the Swedish Nationals that are in March, just in a couple of weeks. Which is actually very exciting. Please remember that as an international guest, I'm not taking anybody's place or spot in the finals. So the final spots and everything else, like official placements, are reserved for only Swedish puzzlers. So I'm kind of like competing, but kind of like unofficially outside of the actual competition. Then I'm also thinking about maybe visiting the Norwegian nationals, and Maybe some online competitions I'm still looking for. Other competitions I don't really know, but if there is anything, I'm always interested to travel and go places, so yes. If you're still, by the way, wondering the sports thing, we're getting there, we're getting there. Okay, next question. What kind of puzzles are the most challenging for you? Go. I can give a couple examples that I've done lately that I did not find very funny. This you may have seen from the various category last year in the world. This one I did yesterday. It's not like I'm not a fan, but it's just hard when there is something that it's like all over the puzzle. If there would be one tiger, that would be fine, or if this would have like a little bit more, yeah, it's kind of like detailed, but it's not that kind of detail that the human brain can really wrap around. And then of course, I mean, I think these kind of puzzles everybody kind of finds very challenging. I would say I think the most challenge is with this, that you kind of go into that giving up mode. So even though you could, for example, shape short this area, you just kind of go like, oh my god, I can't do this anymore mode. So that's definitely a challenge for me. Stop, reset. Brands you wish you could try. Favorite brands, fastest, slowest puzzles for you. Okay, that was multiple questions. Maybe I can have a little bit more time. Brands you wish you could try. So I've seen a lot of brands in social media, you know, like from other countries, especially like outside of Europe, that I wish to try. My personal issue is that I've said this earlier, but I don't really order puzzles online. Maybe some exceptions. So that kind of limits kind of like my selection of the brands. But yeah. If you ask me, if you challenge, the challenge is still open to do any puzzle, so just challenge me, I will find it and I'll order it, I'll do it. I'm open to any brands, to be honest. Favorite brands currently. So I actually love Trefoil because they always have good quality, even the basic Trefoil. Then there was of course the Prime and my first the Velvet soft touch thing. So I love that, but I don't really have any, there's not really very interesting images from Trefoil that I would like remember, like, oh, that was such a great puzzle. I like the images of Ravensburger, but as long as they have the puzzle dust, they're never gonna be my favorite brand. I love Gallison and Mud Puppet. Those images are great. The quality is usually great as well. I heard some people saying that that sometimes the quality is like different. Something that they have two different qualities. I don't know what is that about. I really like that. I don't know. There's so many brands that I do like. I should do like a brand comparison video. And fastest, slowest puzzles for you. So obviously the fastest puzzles I've done so far is the Battle of the YouTube Puzzlers Blue Car. That's my personal record for the first time doing 500-piece puzzle. Then I had better time for the I Love Birds puzzle, but that I did actually multiple times. There's actually a live session in my Instagram still available. I did that in 34 minutes. And then there is coming nowadays bunch of puzzles I can do 40 something. Slowest puzzles, well, I would say the ones I just showed you. Not any specific puzzle that would come into my mind. Okay, already like almost 3 minutes. Oh my god. Reset. What are your favorite type of images to puzzle for leisure and for speed puzzling? So in general, I love bright colors. It's easier for me to do. And then I like that it's had a lot of like details, but in a logical way. For example, the postcard puzzles, I'm not that good with them as many others are, because yes, it has a lot of details, it has a lot of colors, so it should be exactly my type of puzzle. But it's also kind of like abstract, that there's like random things going in places that they don't really have like context or relation to each other. So I would say more like detailed puzzles in a way that they are like logical, like bookshelves or some still life. So there's kind of like something you can wrap your mind around. So that kind of puzzles, definitely both for leisure and speed puzzling. What is your favorite puzzle? Which puzzle types do you like to do the most? Already answered this question. I was actually about to say, no shade to anybody, but favorites are for kids. You cannot choose one. But then I was like, I actually have a favorite puzzle. So definitely this one. This is like extra cute. This is actually the puzzle that it's on the picture that I have on my profile picture and also in the nomination page thingy tanka. Yes, I'm really open for anything. Give me any puzzle, I'm ready to puzzle it. That's actually very nice when I swap puzzles. Some people are like, do anybody want these puzzles? And I'm like, oh, I could have everything. Actually, one of my teammates sent a lot of pictures of puzzles. Like, does somebody want any of these to do before I sell this? Like in the middle of the night, there's like multiple puzzles. And I was like, well, I could take them all. But yeah, so all puzzles are great puzzles. I think you mentioned once that you had done sport professional as a part of a team, something like that. Can you tell us? Then there is... where are the other questions? You said you come from the world of competitive sport. Which sports did you do? What sports did you used to do? You said you were even in the national team. I would love to hear more about the sport you were in the national team and you experienced there. Okay, I'm gonna answer this question. So she's also excited. So let me just explain first of all why I don't refer to the sports itself, because it's very much unrelated. And okay, so here it comes. I played ultimate frisbee, and here's the issue with it. It's quite small sports, especially some smaller countries. And I know from experience that when I told this like 10 years ago when I was playing in the national team, then sometimes people are like, huh? Like what sports? So some people actually don't know that sports exist, and the name of it doesn't usually tell those people anything. It's different if you go and tell people that you do speed puzzling. They might be, oh, that's a thing, but they know what you mean. And you say you play ultimate frisbee, if they don't know what it is, they don't know what it is. Or then they go like, oh, it's the one with the dog, or oh yeah, we have also those kind of like a disc golf thing in our park. And I'm like, no, not that one, not that one. So yeah, that's what I played. But I played from very, very young age until I was 18. I think I played in the national team, the U20s, from age 15 to 18. I think the last time I've literally like played in a competition was in the Worlds 2014. So I actually haven't played in 10 years. It's a history thing for me. I do not care. I got sick on the last year. Okay, I also had a lot of injuries, but I was very sick for the last year and the doctor said you will never ever play again. So that's basically the end of it. Do I miss it? No, I don't. I think that's also the issue why I have, because I've been so competitive from such a young age. It's really hard for me to find like pleasure and happiness on things that I'm doing instead of just competing. But yeah, I definitely learned a lot from it. I didn't only play, I was also coaching. I was in the board of our club. I was working, kind of like doing stuff for the association, responsible, for example, the tournaments and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from there. That's great that I use it to basically in everything else that I do. And that's also why I just refer that I used to play and I'm taking this from the sports world, because what the sport is kind of like, it's not relevant. The relevant point is that I'm taking this from the world of sports. These kind of methods and tactics that are basically used in every sport. And I don't want people who don't know what that even sport is to get like sidetracked. But yeah, now you know. I think also the mention from the sports, I was never actually sporty. I was literally the slowest runner of my team. I was probably the worst when it comes to the skill of throwing. So I always kind of like play this kind of like a mind game, head game. I don't know what you call it. I analyze a lot of stuff, and that's how I was doing decently well. And that's what I also do with puzzles, because I just analyze stuff and learn new stuff, and I'm still lacking the experience, so I have to kind of like find something else to work on. I have actually also flipped all these puzzle pieces now. But I think that was all the questions. I'm terrified how, I don't know how long this video will be. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope you enjoyed. Next time I promise I'll do as a live session, so you can also ask like further questions and also questions in the chat itself. I won't be doing this puzzle for this video because the video is getting too long, but I promise you I'll finish this since I started it. And you can follow this on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me yet on Instagram, or you haven't subscribed this channel, first of all, go subscribe the channel. And then if you also enjoy my content here, then also follow on social. It's more like behind the scenes, daily stuff. But anyway, that was all for today. I hope all your answers were questioned. Yeah, I hope all your answers were questioned. No, all your questions answered. Send me any other questions you may have to the comments below, or any thoughts you had during this video. I hope you enjoyed, even though I am long-winded. I cannot do anything about it. I'm not even sorry about it. And you know what? I think the next video will be about my preparation to the Swedish Nationals. So remember to join also next week. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye bye.